just how we planned it. Get rid of Luke Kornet, Al Horford, Kristaps Porzingis, Drew Holiday. Let's put Jayson Tatum down with an Achilles tear. And by the way, let's start the season 0-3 and see where we end up. Oh, and the Boston Celtics are 4-0 without Jaylen Brown this season? Sure, that's definitely possible. Yeah, I'm fired up, guys, because the Boston Celtics are on the verge of another 40 wins before 20 losses season, the mark of a true championship contender. And Jayson Tatum is coming back. What can I say? This season has been one of the best Boston Celtics seasons of all time, not in terms of record or wins or championships, just because of what the expectations were coming into this season and how Jaylen Brown has carried this team. Joe Mazzulla is a top 5 coach, if not top 2 coach in the NBA, not just in terms of coach of the year, but just in terms of one of the best coaches in the NBA, period. And I don't know what you say about this center rotation. You have just Neemias, Queta, and Luka Garza. Back in the summer, we talked about, how this center rotation was going to struggle. How were they going to, get rebounds? How were they going to make a defensive presence, protect the rim? And Neemias Queta has turned into one of the best centers in the NBA. You have Nikola Vucevic, who has provided a great production in the last couple of games. You have Luka Garza, who has definitely taken a back seat with the addition of Nikola Vucevic, but you still have his offensive rebounding presence. You still have his ability to hit threes, pick and pop threes in particular. And I don't know what you say about Jayson Tatum coming back in the next few games. I mean, I don't think it's going to be March 1st, but I say March 3rd, maybe, sometime in the next week and a half, Jayson Tatum is going to be on the court. And we'll see how he, turns out, what he's looking like right off of, or I guess right into his first game. But this game against the Suns last night, a game, Jaylen Brown obviously resting, gearing up for, yes, a bigger matchup and a bigger test tonight as I am recording this against the Denver Nuggets. But against the Suns, right, you have a team that's without Jaylen Brown. You have Ron Harper Jr. and, if I'm not mistaken, Baylor Shireman getting the start on the night. And this team, yes, they started slow. Yes, there was some hiccups at first. They struggled offensively, of course, without Jaylen Brown. But what this team can do defensively, they only score 97 points. It's a terrible offensive game for the Celtics. Derek White continues to struggle offensively. Obviously, Peyton Pritchard had a rough game offensively. But this team defensively can be, on the nights when they lock in, which is most nights, the best defensive team in the NBA. We talk about Baylor Shireman. Baylor Shireman obviously came into the league. They drafted him for his ability to hit, moving threes, hit corner threes, a pick and pop 3-point shooter, coming around screens, a 2.0 of Sam Hauser, a baby Steph Curry. That's what they drafted him to be. And the shooting hasn't been there for the most part. But what they didn't expect was just a not just playable, but impactful, positive defender, along with the team that is full of defenders. Ugo Gonzalez, Jordan Wall, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Neemias Queta. This is a lineup that just can be on the level of an OKC defensively. And it's not with the steals that OKC loves. It is with the just purely defensive presence, rim protection, but also, just forcing an offense to just stutter so much that they can't even get a shot off. Shot clock violations. They're not getting out in transition that much. That's not the style they play. But just holding their ground, forcing, fadeaway tough mid-ranges from Luka Doncic in the Lakers game, Hugo Gonzalez in particular. In the Suns game, obviously they don't have Devin Booker. They don't have Dillon Brooks, probably the vibes of their team, the sort of the mascot of their team in Dillon Brooks. They don't have those two guys. But you still have Allen. You still have, Jalen Green. You have Mark Williams. Some offensive pieces here. You have Royce O'Neal. And the Boston Celtics hold them to the best defensive quarter of the season, allowing in that second quarter, or in the third quarter, 11 points. It's just incredible what the Celtics were able to do after their rough shooting start. They turn that around. And they just blow this game open with just stifling defense in that third quarter. And I mean, this is what the team is right now. It's just chaos. This team is just lots of long athletic wings. Jordan Walsh, Hugo Gonzalez, Baylor Shireman just flying around, switching, recovering, swarming, just, forcing guys like Luka Doncic in the Suns game, or in the Lakers game, and, Grayson Allen and other guys in the Suns game here to just get uncomfortable, to feel like quitting, right? They don't want to, hustle and run this much, up and down the court all night long, and they just quit in that third quarter, the Suns. And, yeah, you can look at the Suns and say, yeah, they missed some open shots, but they were just flat out tired, exhausted from what the Celtics were able to do to them. It felt like there were 8 guys sometimes on the court defensively. This looks very similar to sometimes those early Celtics, in the 2010s where they just looked like they had 5, 6, 7 guys out there sometimes, just the way they were defending defensively. And rebounding, right? Rebounding was a huge factor in this game. Offensive rebounding in particular. 61 to 30 overall boards for the rebounding advantage for the Celtics. 61 to 30. Just extra offensive rebounds, giving the Celtics, who are having a rough night offensively, just another opportunity to get some free points. Neemias Queta was spectacular in this game. Just a force in the paint, but also the rim protection, the physicality, getting those offensive rebounds, setting the tone defensively. He continues to just have an outstanding season. And I really have to give credit to just the Celtics staff in the way they are able to develop these defensive guys. This team, you look at what Mike Vrabel was able to do with the Patriots this year, and he really was building not just a culture, but an organization, building a system that he wanted to play. That's what Joe Mazzulla has been doing this season. And the last couple of years, yeah, I think they won largely on the talent that they had. But this season, without the talent that they have, Joe Mazzulla is setting the tone each and every night. In this game, just speak to the culture that Joe Mazzulla is setting right now, right? You look at Jordan Walsh, and Jordan Walsh, he had a great start to this game, was flying around defensively. He was making some corner threes as well. And he gets called for a foul that, gave him his second foul or something like that, third foul, on a three-point attempt from Grayson Allen. And Joe Mazzulla, or I guess Jordan Walsh, is urging Joe Mazzulla to challenge that. And despite the bench saying, don't challenge, Joe Mazzulla challenges anyway because he's trusting his guys. And when the challenge is deemed unsuccessful, Joe Mazzulla pulls Jordan Walsh out and doesn't play him again that night. So just speaks to the credit, or I guess the culture and the just demanding of Joe Mazzulla to be perfect each and every possession. And if you're going to, take one of my challenges and you're not going to get it right, then you're not going to play. It just speaks to how everybody is locked in. There's nobody that is above the team, right? Jaylen Brown obviously didn't play tonight, but in games where he does play, right, if the Celtics are doing poorly, Jaylen Brown will sit. He's not above the team. Even though he is the best player on this team and carrying this team, he will sit if he doesn't have it going. Derek White has sat when he doesn't have it going offensively. And, it's been a struggle for him this year. He's only shooting 32% from three. But the impact that he makes defensively each and every night makes it just worthwhile to have him out there. He's still a positive impact in net rating and just allowing this team to be so nasty defensively. We talked about Neemias Queta. Ron Harper Jr., he played 30 minutes tonight. I mean, you look at a guy that is in the G League for most of his career. You look at a guy that is like a backup, maybe a fourth guard on this team. And, he only goes 3 of 10, but he was impactful defensively. And Joe Mazzulla, this wasn't a game that was about offense because Joe Mazzulla realized early that they were going to have trouble scoring anyway, right? Just with the way Peyton Pritchard was struggling along with Derek White, right? But what they could do was just blow the game open defensively. And Joe Mazzulla realized that, Ron Harper Jr. was a big piece to that. He had a fantastic LeBron-like chase down block, which led to a fantastic Euro step from Hugo Gonzalez on the other end. Right, we talked about Baylor Shireman a little bit, but 32 points, had 11 points, 11 rebounds, a double-double for him. He is definitely one of those energy guys on this team. It's just incredible to see what he's doing. He had a chase down block as well. He had a block, then I believe a high five mid play sort of became the highlight of the game. Hugo Gonzalez, Jordan Walsh, Sam Hauser. I'm just naming guys at this point. Just guys that are all doing everything each and every night. And I know this energy and hustle is going to even out as the, playoffs begin because everyone's going to be, hustling. But I don't think a team has this big of a jump defensively in the playoffs. Yes, the Pistons are great defensively. The Spurs are great defensively. The Thunder are great defensively. But the Celtics can match all of these teams defensively. And so you're just relying on the offense to hold its own. And Jaylen Brown, yeah, he can be inefficient at sometimes, but he's going to get his points. Peyton Pritchard's going to be great in the playoffs on most nights. Derek White might not be, but you still have the overarching question of Jayson Tatum. And he's coming back this season. We know that for sure at this point. I mean, I bet my life savings that he's coming back. If he doesn't, I guess, a broke man I will be. But Jayson Tatum, even if he's only at 85%, he can be such a impactful guy, even if he's coming off the bench for a couple games. And yes, he's going to have, assuming he comes back in the next couple of weeks, he's going to have plenty of time to ramp up for the playoffs. Just to have that offensive power, that just scoring production that you can get even on a 85% Jayson Tatum, along with the defense if he's able to guard centers, right? You just take a season that is already spectacular in its own right, and you can make it a championship season, if not at least NBA Finals season. But I'm gonna wrap it up here. I didn't really have much to say about this game specifically, other than the fact that this was just a continuation of just a brilliant defensive season, a brilliant season overall. Joe Mazzulla, Coach of the Year. Jaylen Brown, despite not playing tonight and the Celtics being 4-0 without him, an MVP candidate. Tonight we played the Denver Nuggets. We win this one. We win the Nets game. And you take a team that was sitting at, 34-19, and they could be a 40-20 team. It's just incredible what this team is doing right now. And yeah, it's going to be a tough one tonight. Obviously, no Aaron Gordon, but Nikola Jokic is playing, Jamal Murray is playing, and I'm not going to expect them to win this game, especially on a back-to-back. But Jaylen Brown is healthy or rested as well. And so, it's going to be up to Jaylen Brown and Peyton Pritchard to carry the load tonight. And the Nuggets haven't been a great defensive team as of late. So can the Celtics take advantage of that? But yeah, we'll wrap it up here. We're not going to do a reaction to that Nuggets game directly, but we're going to have a podcast episode coming out as this is the third game here. We'll talk about Lakers game. We'll talk about the Suns game. We'll talk about the Nuggets game. It'll probably come out Thursday afternoon or Thursday evening, maybe Friday morning. I'm going to record it midday Thursday. Yeah, you can check out that on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcast. Please give a like and a rating there. And yeah, until next time, go C's.